Good evening, everybody. It is 7 o'clock on Monday, August 19th, and we will call this regular City Commission meeting of the Sault Ste. Marie City Commission to order. Could we have a roll call, please?
Mayor Gary.
Here.
Commissioner Bauer.
Here.
Commissioner Baspis Rath.
Here.
Commissioner Gage.
Here.
Commissioner Habusta.
Here.
Commissioner Marble.
Here.
Commissioner Rubenstein.
Here.
All present and accounted for. If everybody could please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. All right, moving along, in the interest of time, since we have a long meeting here, we'll move right into item C, public comment. Is there anybody in the audience that would like to make any comments on any of our scheduled items? Seeing none, we'll move into item D, which is the consent agenda. Deputy City Manager Robin Troyer.
Thank you, Mayor. Under the consent agenda, 1, approval of the City Commission meeting minutes of August 5th, 2024. Item 2, acceptance of the Downtown Development Authority meeting minutes of July 10th. Item 3 is scheduling of a public hearing for the September 2nd, 2024 City Commission meeting for the purposes of considering an alley vacation request submitted by the Chippewa County Historical Society. Item 4 is consideration of a policy for fire hydrant use for Dafter and Sioux Township. And item 5 is approval of the consent agenda items as presented.
Thank you, Deputy City Manager. Does any commissioner want any item removed for individual consideration, or do you have any questions on any of the items? Commissioner Gage.
So move. We approve the consent agenda.
Support.
It's been moved and supported. Any questions or comments? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passed unanimously. Moving down into, I guess it moves us down into item G, business items.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Up first for commission consideration is a request to award a bid for the purchase of a new lawnmower for the Parks Department. The package was bid out. We're recommending the award to Spartan Distributors of Sparta, Michigan for the purchase of a Toro Groundmaster 4100D. With this, there is an option that we are recommending. The purchase of a rotary broom attachment that will go on it. The use of this would be to clean the sidewalks in the springtime, or just kind of anywhere where we may need a little bit bigger, quicker sweeper upper. So 3 motion for this item. Motion to award the bid to Spartan Distributors. Motion to increase the budget of stock and equipment for the amount of $10,000. The motion to approve the purchase of rotary broom attachment in the amount of $11,000.
Thank you, City Manager. Anybody have any questions or comments? Is our delivery time within a year on this one? I think last time it was a year out. Had a schedule? 12 to 18.
It'll average out.
Just in snow season next year.
Yeah.
All right, anybody have any questions or comments? Sure, Commissioner Barr.
Yeah, the current model, which is 15 years old, I know is going to be placed in reserve and remain with the fleet, but do we already have one that we're using for reserve, and if so, what are we doing with that?
We're keeping both.
Okay,
We have 2006 and 2008.
thanks.
Any other questions? Commissioner Barr, do you want to make the 3 separate
Sure.
motions?
I move that we award the bid to Spartan Distributors of Sparta, Michigan for the purchase of a Toro Groundmaster 4100D for the amount of $93,657.72.
Support.
Moved and supported. Any questions or comments? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passed unanimously. Commissioner Bauer.
I also move to increase the budget in the Stock and Equipment Fund capital equipment line item by $10,000.
Support.
Moved and supported. Any questions, comments? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passed unanimously. Commissioner Bauer.
Finally, I motion to approve the purchase of the rotary broom attachment for the amount of $11,271.38.
Support.
Moved and supported. Any questions, comments? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All three motions passed unanimously. Moving on to G, business items number 2, City Manager Chapman.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Up next is a request to designate IDEX Laboratories, Inc. as our sole source vendor for bacteriological testing supplies at the water treatment facility. The water treatment facility is currently a licensed certified laboratory. The equipment that we use to be certified only comes from IDEX. The expenses that we have kind of oversees the typical purchasing policy where we'd have to bid it out. But being as these are the only real source of the equipment to keep our certifications, we come to the commission and ask for the designation of sole source vendor for these items. So we do a lot of testing for our own operations, but we do bring in samples from outside agencies. With that also becomes the revenue for us. So we would look for a motion to approve IDEX as a sole source vendor for bacteriological testing supplies at the water treatment facility.
Thank you, City Manager. Anybody have any questions or comments? Commissioner Bosbus-Rath, would you like to take this?
Sure will. Motion to approve IDEX Laboratories Incorporated as the sole source vendor for bacteriological testing supplies at the water treatment facility.
Support.
It's been moved and supported. Any questions or comments?
One.
Sure,
Are
Commissioner
we
Bauer.
sure it's not labor ratteries?
Be a third version. Any other questions or comments? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passed unanimously. Under G, business items, number 3, City Manager Chapman.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Up next for commission consideration is a request to approve a private use agreement. Included in the agenda item is the request from the property owner that is looking to utilize a piece of right-of-way for their driveway entrance off of 25th Street. All the attachments in the application are included in your agenda item, and we look for a motion to approve the private use agreement as presented.
Thank you, City Manager. Anybody have any questions on this item for City Manager or for Kelly Freeman, who is biting his nails in the audience? Oh, it wasn't Kelly? Oh, it's engineering. Anybody have any questions or comments for anybody? Mr. Marble, would you like to take this one?
Thank you, Mayor. Motion to approve the private use agreement as presented for driveway access.
Support.
Moved and supported. Any questions or comments? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passed unanimously. And number 4 in the business items, City Manager Chapman.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Up next for commission consideration is a request from the TIFA 3 board to conduct, seeking permission to issue an RFP to perform a cost-benefit analysis on the airport property. With the TIFA 3 expiring in the next year or so, they're looking for some information on best how to decide moving that piece of property and the TIFA 3 forward. They would look at things like the cost-benefit analysis of the airport. What else could the property be utilized for, and just trying to come up with some information to make an informed decision kind of moving forward there. So we look for a motion to approve a request for a proposal on a cost-benefit analysis of Sanderson Field Airport to be funded by TIFA 3. There is not a cost at this time. The cost will come in after the RFP is issued.
Thank you, City Manager. Anybody have any questions for the City Manager? And thank you, Nikki Radke, for coming from the EDC. Commissioner Gage, would you like to make the motion?
I'd love to, Your Honor. Motion to approve a request for proposal on a cost-benefit analysis for Sanderson Field Airport to be funded by TIFA 3.
Support.
Moved and supported. Any questions, comments? Commissioner Habusta.
Yeah, just one quick question. Yeah, you mentioned that there's no costing yet. The recommended action item is that the RFP is funded by TIFA. So I'm just seeking clarification, and there's no need for it to be funded by TIFA 3, correct?
There is no need, is that what you said?
Yeah, for the, I'm just trying to understand, because you have in here to be funded by TIFA 3, but all we're doing is approving a RFP at this point.
This item came in from the EDC and the TIFA 3 board, so I think they're just stating their intentions for them to pay for it
To pay for it
themselves.
eventually. Okay.
Yes.
All right, thank you.
Any other questions? So we had motion support. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion also passed unanimously. So moving on into item H, city manager announcements and updates.
Just a couple things tonight. Included in my agenda item under the attachment OPR is the outstanding projects report. This is something I did when I was downstate, and I started doing when I first got up here, but time just got away, and so we're going to get back to this now. So included in the report is about 6 pages right now of different status updates and different projects. Some currently ongoing, some a little bit out in the future. There's probably some more projects that we'll be adding on to this as we move forward with it, but it's just gonna have a list of everything that's going on right now with some updates. So we'll update this monthly and give it to the commission as an attachment in my updates at the second meeting, at the second commission meeting of every month. So,
Thank you, city manager. Anybody have any questions about any of the items on there? All right, moving on into item I, which is matters presented by the public. Anybody in the audience that would like to make any comments, questions? Moving on into item J, matters presented by the city commission. Commissioners? Commissioner Bauer?
Yeah, just very quickly, Hospice and Sue Brewing Company getting together for a brat fundraiser tomorrow night. All proceeds, of course, go to hospice, so glad to do that. And on Wednesday, the last installment of Music in the Park for the year with Daryl Syria of Marquette. He's played it before, so if you're a fan of Finnish reggae, then you're gonna be in for a treat. There you go.
Thank you. Anybody else? Commissioner Gage?
Your Honor, thank you. I just wanted to wish Lake Superior State University a happy convocation tomorrow. It's a major day for the university swearing in a new president. I know we're all excited to see them come and do wonderful things for our school and our community. Just want to wish them the best for tomorrow.
Good comment. Anybody else? Commissioner Bauer?
Your Honor, I move that we adjourn this meeting.
Support.
Moved and supported, we adjourn this meeting. All in